To save or die, that is the question. So I've had another remark. I've heard these remarks my whole life, so they're not new, but I thought I would give it some attention. The problem with save or die, comment on the last channel. The problem with save or die is it's not save or die. It's save or roll up another character or replace your character, which just it's it's funny to me because they clearly don't get what gaming is, right? Again, role play gaming is gaming. There are mechanisms of game devices, right? Monopoly, what's the point of going to jail? You're just going to get out. It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. The reality is it's a game, and this is one of the mechanisms. But if we want to get into the deep, dark dive of it, save or die is the threat that you can't avoid no matter how big and bad you get. So any creature we come across, even if we're finally level 9, that we know has a dangerous sting, and these are creatures we would readily waylay, when they drop that 20 and you're forced to make that save and you roll that 1, say goodbye to your level 9 fighter that you busted your hump enjoying and playing and being. And so the point of save or die is like real life. If I step out in the street, get hit by a car at 65 miles an hour, I'm probably going to die. As opposed to dying at 94, whittling away, a war of attrition against time itself, and dying quietly in my bed. So to ask this question is to really ask, what's the point of death in your game? And my advice is don't play role-playing games that feature death at all, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to probably, depending on the game, you're going to die by 1,000 strokes, and that's somehow a better death. No, that's not what you said. You said, what's the point of save or die? Because you're just going to replace that character. Ah, and when you die by 1,000 cuts, are you not going to roll up a new character, or do you leave the table and leave the group and never to return again? Is that what you're suggesting? That if you die, you quit the club, you quit the game, you take your ball and you go home, you take your dice and you go home because you're full of shit, is what you're saying to me. If you don't like death and you don't like death in games, tell me what is the right mechanism for death to be proper. Nah. Recognize it's a game, and save or death is a mechanism that guarantees that no matter how good you get, there is always this burden of very dangerous things, right? But again, my advice to those who don't like death in gaming, play a game where you can't die, play a game, another game. But that's like asking, what's the point of going to jail? You're just going to get out. What's the point of going to jail? You can just pay your $200 and get out. I mean, it's just funny as fuck. Dude, it's if you don't understand game design, you don't understand mechanisms of why is a sum total of a thing that we do this, right? And I know you do, right? I know you do. I know you understand it. So it's not a problem. The problem is you playing the game. Play something else. Here's the thing. These problems are so easily solved by you choosing something else. It's it's not an argument.